So, this is gonna be fun. Alright, so, this is basically, as you can see from the title, what if the Imperium of Man came to Remnant? This isn't so much a what would they think, it's kind of more of a survival story, kind of like what I've done with a few other videos here and there. So, what would it be like if the Imperium of Man arrived on the world of Remnant, and what would they think of it? Like, what would they think of this planet? So let's get started with this video. Now, the first thing you have to take into account is that, yeah, when they land, it's probably going to be like that. It's probably going to be like the Megamind meme, where it's like, "You saved us." And like, I could just imagine like a bunch of Ultramarines like landing from a drop pod, coming out and killing like several Grimm that are attacking a village, and the villagers are like, "You saved us," and the Ultramarines would be like, "I wouldn't say saved, more like under new management. Hail the God Emperor," and just punch the guy through the face. Yeah, the Imperium of Man, even like diehard Warhammer fans know that these are the most backward water, idiotic people you will ever encounter in your fucking life. The Imperium of Man is a bunch of, the Imperium of Man are a bunch of religious zealots who have technology that even they don't understand half the time. But the problem is they have a really big military, and they like to throw it around. So, imagine if they came to the world of Remnant, which has its own share of problems, be it, you know, forms of, like, racism, or forms of, you know, these kind of, like, forms of classism, and also, you know, the Grimm running around. The big thing that the Ultramarines are first going to do are kill their way through what they would consider, like, I think they would, if they first encountered the Grimm first, like, they would encounter them and be like, corrupted Xeno species detected, and then they think they're like chaos spawn or something, and just proceed to mow them down or kill them. I would imagine that we'd lose several guardsmen, like a couple hundred handfuls of guardsmen, and maybe an Ultramarine here and there. But yeah, I don't see like the Grimm are all range from different sizes and powers, and I could just imagine that some of these Grimm are probably going to cause some casualties to our boys in blue. I'm just using the regular Primarch Ultramarines for this example. So the Ultramarines and the Guardsmen do have the technology to combat them, and I imagine they would kill a few. You know, obviously with armored vehicles and, you know, spacecraft. That's kind of a big one. You know, when you have spacecraft in a world that doesn't travel from space, you kind of get an edge here and there. But the thing of it is that the Xeno species is really the Xeno species they'd really be looking at outside of the Grimm after killing their way through them are the people themselves. Do you really think, let me just put this into perspective. Do you really think, knowing, you know, I say this to the major Warhammer fans, do you really think if they arrived on Remnant, do you really think they would look at people, especially huntresses, and look at their semblances and be like, yeah, that's normal? No, they'd think it's some kind of Xeno, they think they're Xenos, and proceed to kill them or cull them. And don't even get me started on Faunus. These guys would just tear their way through Faunuses as well. They would look at these like Faunus and huntresses with semblance and be like, there's some kind of unholy corruption, there's some kind of unholy genetic corruption that must be purified for the God Emperor, and just proceed to butcher their way through people. And yeah, if you thought the huntresses and the huntsmen and huntresses of the world of Atlas had problems before with dealing with Salem, yeah, imagine if you had a bunch of super soldier religious zealots coming at you. Then you have a whole new can of worms that you have to fight your way through, and yeah, that's not gonna be fun. That is in no way, shape, or form going to be fun. So, it's gonna be a little tough. Yeah. So there, you know, there is that you have to take into account. Now, the other thing is that the Imperium also would definitely be looking like the other thing the Imperium would have to encounter is Atlas, you know, the army of Atlas, which Atlas is kind of gone, but really, like, I'm talking about like Ironwood and his whole brigade, and they're probably the most technologically advanced of the world of Remnant, and could probably pose the biggest challenge. And I'm not saying like others like Maidens or other more powerful huntsmen and huntresses would pose a threat. In fact, I do think they would honestly take out several hundred guardsmen, but guardsmen and a few ultramarines here and there. But the thing of it is that the Imperium kind of fights dirty. They fight dirty, and to quote one word, exterminatus. Exterminatus the whole place. And yeah, I guarantee you they would exterminatus the shit out of everything. You know, if it's one thing that the Imperium is good at, it's it's overkill. And trust me, there's going to be a lot of overkill to go around. The Imperium does not give a single fuck about collateral damage. They don't care if they kill a couple thousand children. It would just be like, it is the God Emperor's will, and proceed to just keep murdering people. Yeah, I do think I do think that there would be an open war between them and Remnant. But the thing of it is that the people of Remnant would not only be fighting a war with the Imperium, but they'd also be fighting, or they'd still be fighting a war with Salem. And you think, oh, Salem would probably be like, I'll team up with them. No, they're not going to team up with what they consider some kind. They would probably see the Imperium would see Salem as like some kind of like avatar for the, you know, for the Chaos Gods. And yeah, they're not gonna go for that. They're not gonna go for any of that. In fact, they're going to try to put several thousand bullets in her and probably, you know, exterminatus the entire territory she lives on. Just saying. So there is that. And like I said, if you think Faunus are safe from the Imperium, no, they're not. They're probably, because again, these guys, like, asshole doesn't even describe what the Imperium is. They're probably going to be rounding up Faunuses and executing them in the droves, just bodies upon bodies of these poor people being just relentlessly slaughtered by the Imperium. So, yeah, this would not be a good it would not be a good day to be a Faunus or having a semblance if the Imperium ever arrived on the world of Remnant. These guys they work fast and they work brutal, as most of you guys would know. And again, I'm keeping it kind of open with and I haven't even gotten, that's the other thing, I haven't even gotten started on the other like types of guardsmen in here. I haven't even gotten started on the other guardsmen. I haven't even talked about all of that. I've only talked about, you know, like maybe the intersectors and, you know, the Primarch groups for the Ultramarines and the Guardsmen. I haven't even started about like Death Corps or any of the other, or the Blood Angels or anything. God help us. God help Remnant if the Blood Angels showed up and be like, cool tech and cool knowledge. We'll take that for ourselves. Yeah. So, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think it would be like if the Imperium of Man showed up on, you know, arrived on Remnant? Do you think it would be just mass murder, or do you think it would just be endless war that would just decimate the planet? And I'm pretty sure the answer would be yes to both. Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.